Today I'll be discussing the various other legislations or policies in India which protects the children from violence. In the previous video, I have discussed with you the protection which is available under the constitution. Now, under various other legislations in India, you'll find the protection of the children against violence. First and foremost, I'll be discussing what are the provisions which are available under the IPC. See, the IPC by its various sections specifically protects the children and their rights. And some of the sections are, the first one is section 83, which provides that any child, if a child does any offence who is above 7 years of age and under 12 and who has not attained the sufficient maturity of understanding to judge the nature or consequence of this conduct will not be considered as any offence. Next section it provides, that is 292 and 93, it provides that selling, distributing, publishing, public exhibition or circulation of obscene materials such as books, magazines, drawings, paintings, etc. it is prohibited under section 292. Whoever sells, let to hire, distributes, exhibits or circulates to any person under the age of 20 years any such obscene object as is referred to in section 292 or offers or he attempt to do so, he shall be punished more severely. Next section is 305, which provides that abatement of the commission of suicide of a person who is below the age of 18 years is punishable under that section. Section 317, it provides abandonment or exposure of a child for the purpose of abandonment by any of the parents or a person having the care of such child is a punishable offence. Section 361, it provides or it deals with the punishing offenders who kidnap a child, male if below 16 years of age and female if below 18 years of age. Section 363A of IPC provides kidnapping or maiming children for the purpose of begging, and it has held to be a punishable offence. Next section is 366A, which provides inducing of a minor girl under the age of 18 years to do any act that may force or seduce her to illicit intercourse with another person is punishable under section 366A. Section 366B, it is a punishable offence to import a girl under 21 years of age into India from a country outside India or from Jammu and Kashmir, intending that she may be forced or seduced to illicit intercourse with another person. Section 369 provides kidnapping a child under the age of 10 years with the intention to steal from child, and that is an offence. Next provision which is available under IPC is section 372 and 373. Which provides selling, buying or hiring a person under 18 years of age for the purpose of prostitution or illicit intercourse with any person or for any unlawful or immoral purpose is a punishable offence. Section 375 provides the man is said to commit rape if he has sexual intercourse with a woman or without her consent and when she is under the age of 16 years. So you see, this was one of the important provision which is available for our children under IPC. And section 376, it provides the punishment. Stringent punishment. If the rape is committed by a management or a staff of remand home or any other place of custody established by law or children's institution, rape is committed upon a woman under 12 years of age or gang rape is committed, then a very stringent punishment is provided. Section 376C provides when the superintendent or manager of a remand home or any other place of custody established under the law of children institution induces or seduces a woman into sexual intercourse by taking advantage of his official position, he is entitled to very rigorous punishment. Next, so these are the various provisions under the IPC. Next is the Guardian and Wards Act 1890. This particular act especially provides for the children specific provision. It supersedes all the laws regarding the guardianship of a child. It is a universal code specifically designed for Muslims, Parsis, Christians and Jews, as the personal laws don't allow full adoption but only guardianship. So this Guardian and Wards Act provides the law regarding the guardianship of a child. This is also one of the most important protection for the law prevalent for a children regarding the guardianship of a child. Next act is the Child Marriage Restraint Act 1929. It restrains the child marriage until the minimum age, that is 21 for male and 18 for female, has been attained by them. It applies to the people of all the religions. This is one of the most important protection which is available to our children. Immoral Trafficking Act is another act of that is an act of 1986. This act with respect to children, it deals with person who procure or attempt to procure any child for prostitution or person who are found with a child in a brothel and punishes them. It provides for the due care of the rescued children. The next very act regarding the children is the Women's and Children's Act 1956. This act was enacted with an object to protect women and children from exploitation and inhuman activities going on in an institution. It mandates the institution for women and children to get a license from the licensing authority before establishing or maintaining the institution. Next act is the Probation of Offenders Act 1958. This act, with the help of the Juvenile Justice Act 2000, tries to ensure that no person under the age of 21 years faces imprisonment. National Policy for the Children 1974. This is another act. It is the first written policy for the children in India. It aims at providing better enforcement of constitutional rights of the children along with those granted by the Convention Rights of the Child, that is CRC. Some of the provisions under this act include free education, comprehensive health and nutritious plans, etc. Next very act which is available for the children are the Bonded Labor System Act 1976. This act aims at eradicating the bonded labor system in India, which exploits the weaker sections of society, especially the children. So it prohibits the bonded labor system. The next is the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986. This particular act regulates the working conditions for children in employment and prohibits working of children in certain kinds of employments. The next very act is National Policy on Education 1986. This policy is very extensive in nature and elementary, university and adult level education all fall under its scope. It tries to remove inequality by making special provisions for women and other weaker sections of society such as scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, etc. Next is your National Policy on Child Labor 1987. This particular act endeavors to eradicate child labor from Indian society wherever necessary. The next provision is your available under the Juvenile Justice Act, that is Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2000. This act is one of the important acts in India for the children in need of care and protection and also children in conflict with the law. It requires that the state provides free legal support to the juveniles and proper care and protection is provided to those in need. It also called for a child-friendly approach in adjudication and disposition of matters involving children. The next particular act is the Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques, Regulation and Prevention of Misuse Amendment Act. The main objective of the act is to regulate and prevent the prenatal sex determination in order to prevent female foeticide. The next particular act is your National Health Policy 2002. This is the second National Health Policy after the first in 1983. And this policy provides for the universal immunization programs, healthcare related education in schools, and free regular health checkups at schools, etc. The next very legislation which is available for the protection of the children is a POCSO, that is your Protection of the Children from the Sexual Offences Act 2012. This particular act aims at punishing the offenders who are guilty of sexual offences against children below the age of 18 years. It also lays down procedures for the trial, such as the name of the child victim shall not be disclosed, proceedings of the case are to be conducted in the court with camera recordings, the trial, the accused is not to be kept in front of the child victim during examination or cross-examination, etc. So these are certain provision which is or the protection available for the children under POCSO. Some more laws and policies are in India are there for the children, which can be found in Factories Act 1948, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, Orphanages and Other Charitable Homes Act, prevention of illicit traffic in narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances, Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Act, Infant Milk Substitutes, Feeding Bottles and Infant Foods Act, National Nutrition Policy, Transplantation of Human Organ Act, Information Technology Act, the Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act, National Charter for Children, National Plan of Action, Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, Juvenile Justice Act 2006, the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act, the Child Labor Amendment Bill, etc. So these are various laws available for the protection of the children, and there are various landmark judgments regarding for the protection of children. In P. Krishnan versus State of Andhra Pradesh, the Honorable Supreme Court held that right to education was included within the right to life. Another very important judgment was C. Mehta versus State of Tamil Nadu, where it was held that employers of children in matchsticks and cracker factories were punished with fine of rupees 20,000 for every child employed in contravention of the provision of the Child Labour Act. Such children were directed upon discontinuation of their employment to be assured education in a suitable institution by the state government. One of the most prominent landmark judgment is the Bandhu Mukti Morcha versus Union of India, where it prohibits the bonded labour system. Another very landmark judgment is Lakshmikant Pandey versus Union of India, where the Supreme Court provided various safeguards for the protection of the children against the various malpractices. So these are the various protection available for our children against violence.